Hello well-wishers and welcome to my channel Aspiring Minds. In today's video, we are going to discuss the poem of the times, Advice to Women, written by Eunice de Souza. So grab your virtual seats and let's begin decoding the meaning of this poem. Eunice de Souza is a very relevant poet. She died very recently in the year 2017. She was an Indian poet, a literary critic and a teacher. She was born in Pune, India and spent much of her life in Bombay. She was known for her bold and unapologetic voice in addressing the issues of the society, particularly those which were related to gender and identity. Her poem reflects a keen observation made by her on human relationships, and often you would see her as an academic woman. She had a significant impact on the literary landscape in India. Now, Advice to Women is a very unconventional piece of advice given to women, challenging the traditional expectations of the society. From the very title of the poem itself, we get to know that she is providing a set of suggestions, recommendations, and guiding the women on how to navigate through the complexities of life and romantic relationships. So the poem sets the tone for a piece that challenges the traditional expectations from women. What do I mean by these traditional expectations? That the woman should not go out to work, should be always available emotionally and for any kind of work for the family, for the male counterpart, but that's not the case. That's not what the poet wants the women of the times to do. So let's see how. Always give you the central message of any piece of work that I discuss so that you all can understand and get an overview of what the video or the work of art is going to have in store for you. So the central message of this poem lies in encouraging women to embrace independence and self-reliance in their relationships. Remember, I have often seen it in other motivational videos which I often watch. What you need to do is, when you are in your journey of life and you find a partner, it's not about two souls uniting into one. No, two of you are on your own journey of life. You all have happened to be together because of being in a relationship or being married, and you need to go ahead as the parallel lines of a railway track. There are times when you need to intersect, you'll need to become together. That is when you'll need to take important decisions in life. But otherwise, both of the partners in a relationship are two separate individuals. So, the same advice is going to be given by Eunice de Souza, and by using the behavior of cats, she is going to suggest that women can learn from others about how they need to be self-sufficient. Let's see the poem at a glance, and then I'm going to tell you the line by line meaning of the poem. Keep cats if you want to learn to cope with the otherness of lovers. Otherness is not always neglect. Cats return to their litter trays when they need to. Don't cuss out of the window at their enemies. That stare of perpetual surprise in those great green eyes will teach you to die alone. What a beautiful and meaningful poem conveyed in just a span of a few words. So let's now decode the line by line meaning of the poem and analyze it together. Keep cats. The opening line serves as the direct piece of advice that she is giving to women. Keeping cats is presented as a way to cope with the otherness of lovers, suggesting that women need to be self-contained, they need to be independent, just as cats do not rely on others for help. They are self-sufficient. They know how to get things done, to organize and plan things, and to have things for themselves in order to lead a meaningful life. If you want to learn to cope with the otherness of lovers, so the poet introduces the theme of otherness in relationships, suggesting that the nature of lovers is different or mysterious. Cats, with their independent and sometimes aloof behavior, can serve as a lesson in understanding and accepting this separateness. Remember, I told you that there are times when women are going to feel neglected in relationships, or they will feel that if the male is the one who's got more power or is being dominating or is going to work, he is going to have an air about himself, right? So women too should work, women too should have a life of their own, so that they are not emotionally always dependent on the male counterpart for leading their life. Let's take a moment and understand what is otherness. It refers to the quality of being different or separate from what is considered to be normal. Now, in relationships, when we talk about otherness, it means the difference that exists between individuals, emphasizing that each person has their own unique identity, thoughts, opinions, and experiences. In terms of the complexity of connections, otherness suggests that you need to understand and appreciate the difference that exists in others in order to have meaningful relationships. Now remember, when we talk about otherness, it does not mean you are neglecting or ignoring the other person. Rather, it means that you are respecting the individuality, the freedom, the space that each person needs. In advice to women, otherness is compared to the mysterious nature of love. It is symbolized by the constant element of surprise. Just as a cat keeps staring at you and you never know whether the cat is going to attack you or come and love you, you need to similarly embrace individuality in relationships. Otherness is not always neglect. Cats return to their litter trays when they need to. So here the poet clarifies that this otherness in relationships does not imply neglect or being ignored. The point is that you need to understand that individuals like cats have their own space and moments of independence, which should not be mistaken for neglect. There will be times if two separate individuals in a relationship are working, or even if one is working, one is not, both need to give space to one another. If one is going out with friends for an outing, the other should also be allowed to go there to have fun. So both should give space to each other, and at times they should always also go together. But that does not be that you are neglecting the other person. Cats return to their litter trays when they need to. Now this line emphasizes the self-sufficiency of cats. Unlike humans, cats can return to their designated spaces for essential activities, implying that individuals in relationships, yes, have the freedom to do what they like, but they should also be aware that they are not only two separate individuals, but they are also together in a relationship, and when required, when the need arises based on different situations, you need to get back together and get things sorted. Next, the poet says, don't cuss out of the window at their enemies. So here the poet is advising that you do not need to express your anger, your jealousy, especially towards the enemy of the lovers. So this suggests that you need to maintain a level of discretion, a level of composure, which is very, very crucial in relationships. Let the individual fight his or her own battle. You don't need to always interfere unless that individual is asking you for help. Just because someone has done wrong to your better half, that doesn't mean that you take on the responsibility of becoming an enemy to that person and taking all kinds of revenge and making life worse. No, let the person fight its own battle. If your male counterpart or one of the partners has had a rift with the boss, the husband will not go rescuing the wife. The wife will not have to go and fight with the boss. That's not the case. Let the individuals fight their own battles, and if there is a need, then of course you should go and support your better half. That stare of perpetual surprise in those great green eyes. So the poet over here describes the gaze of the cats, suggesting that there is a perpetual or constant sense of surprise or wonder in their eyes. Now this image serves as an example for the unpredictable nature of love and relationships. A relationship will always have an element of surprise or wonder. That is the beauty of relationships. Will teach you to die alone. So the poet concludes the poem with a striking assertion. The stare of the cat, with its mystery and self-sufficiency, is presented as a lesson that ultimately leads to learning how to face solitude, and by extension it also hints at the inevitability of death. That is, when you die alone. You will not have your spouse. You cannot pull your male or female counterpart that come along with me, I'm dying, you need to die with me. No, ultimately you're going to die alone. So it's better that you learn to have your own space sorted, be independent, and lead your life with your partner. So broadly, there are three themes that the poem explores. Firstly, it explores the theme of maintaining your own individuality within romantic relationships, and using the behavior of cats as a metaphor, the poem highlights the importance of being self-sufficient and independent. Secondly, the poem touches upon the concept of otherness in relationships, which is described as a kind of a perpetual surprise in the eye of cat, highlighting that there is a sense of unpredictability, a sense of mystery in the nature of love and connections. And thirdly, the poem suggests that you need to embrace the lessons from the behavior of cats and reach an understanding of being able to lead your life in solitude, which also highlights that women need to recognize that they have an individual strength which they can use to face the challenges of life. They don't need to be dependent on anyone else. They can be the master of their own life. So therefore we see that Advice to Woman encourages women to adopt the independence and self-sufficiency of cats in navigating through the complexity of life and relationships. The poem challenges the conventional or traditional notions, advocating for having individual strength and accepting that inherent mystery in love. So that's it from this video. I hope you liked it. Do hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel for more such future updates. Thank you for watching. Bye.